Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Okay, so for today's video, I've not seen the video, but I of course know what it is. Andy and Kirk have no idea what's coming up, but we're going to go check this one out. We'll share our thoughts and feelings at the end of the video, so there's no pausing or talking during it. That way we can fully absorb what's going on, and we'll give our thoughts at the end. Let's go check it out.
I think New York is the new model for the new concentration camp, where the camp has been built by the inmates themselves, and the inmates are the guards, and they have this pride in this thing they built. They built their own prison, and so they exist in a state of schizophrenia, where they are both guards and prisoners, and as a result, they no longer have, having been lobotomized, the capacity to leave the prison they made, or to even see it as a prison.
Control
Okay, so that was our new video by Andy. Do you want to have a guess?
Well, that was KAINE.
It was KAINE indeed.
KAINE.
Yes, Essex metalers extraordinaires, been together what 15 years, I think it is now. This lineup has been together 5 years, and that was on. It was off of their new EP, which is I think is the After Extinction. It's off the album After Extinction. It's called.
Is it
Green
spelled
Ray.
like Harry Kane, the footballer, with
With an I? No, KAINE.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Cain and Abel, I guess, or something, or whatever it might be, or.
It's not KAINE and Abel, ain't KAINE.
No, that's the other guy.
I don't know the meaning behind
It's like Michael Caine with a K.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
Oh, no,
So that's their first video as well in 5 years, because that was one of the bits of feedback that they were constantly getting from Patreons. I'm one of their Patreons, which was the fact of a lack of a music video is not doing any favors for the band. So it was good that because they didn't do a single video on their last album, so it was a case of when this new album came out After Extinction, they went into the studio. So I'm going to share my thoughts at the end. I'm going to throw it over to you guys first. Let's kick it off with Andy.
I've seen KAINE a few times. I think they're a really good band. They're prolific, and especially in recent years. They seem to be, making a good use of the social medias. There's this was called After Extinction. Then I think they had an EP out called Extinction After with songs that wasn't on the album. They've got a lot of material out there. As you say, they've been going for a number of years as well. I think they're really good. Again, we'll let the expert put them in the right genre, but it is sort of traditional British heavy metal, isn't it? I really like the guy's vocals. Is he called Rage?
Rage Sadler, yes.
Yes, I really do like his vocals. I think he's a great front man. To be honest, though, I have heard better KAINE songs. It might have been that the mix and this one, or the way it's coming through on my laptop this morning, I'm not sure, but the guitars were too low in the mix. They weren't sort of crunching heavy enough for me. It's a great riff. It's got a really memorable chorus. It's a really good song, but it just sounded not quite as good as I hoped it would be. The drumming was great. You could hear the drums really, really well throughout. I enjoyed the video as well. There's only sort of two scenes of each band member playing individually, in colour and in black and white. The step ladder annoyed me though. I don't think the step ladder should have been left on the set. The old TV fitted in well, but the step ladder I don't think should have been there.
Didn't notice it, but
it was there all along. I like the sort of the midsection where we've got the young lady on the piano, but again, her vocals and her sort of keyboard piece was too low in the mix for me. But yeah, really enjoyable video, memorable chorus. I'm all for long songs, I'm a Doom fan, after all, but that was a bit too long. 6.5 minutes for a sort of lead single from the album, the company music video. I think I probably could have picked a shorter one, a bit more punchier one. But as a song, as an album song, it is really, really good, and maybe it comes across better on the album.
Yeah,
however you should listen to rather than on the video here. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think they're a great band. I've seen them live a couple of times. I'll put it out there as well. They headlined the Portland Arms, and because I think it might have been an album launch, or certainly their headline show, their set was cut short to about 20 minutes because of the curfew coming up, and I just felt so sorry for them. I think it's 4 bands that night. It's running a bit late, and they said, "Right, we've got a couple more for you. This is our new single." And the bloke's going, "Last one. Oh, sorry, this is our last song tonight. It's our new." I felt that's bang out of order. So I've seen them a few times. They're a great live band. I haven't listened to much on recordings, I must admit. But yeah, enjoyed the video, and a band I recommend people checking out if they like traditional British heavy metal.
Okay, Kirk, what do you think?
Yeah, like I've done with most videos today, I'm going to start with a rhetorical question. How often do we take the lyrics seriously in a metal song? You listen to black metal, Satanism. I enjoy the music. I switch off at that. Death metal, Cannibal Corpse. You can't really identify with the lyrics, can you? If you do, then you're probably a potential danger to society. What I love about that song, and you don't hear it enough in metal, you hear it in punk music and you hear it in rap. They've got something to say. Mm-hmm. They're actually talking about the overdevelopment of greenfield sites which should not go ahead. Obviously we know brownfield sites is where you've got to do the building for our housing stock. We've got a growing population. We've got a real problem with illegal immigration as well. So the number of citizens, well, maybe not citizens if they're illegal immigrants, but the number of people that reside in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland keeps going up, doesn't it? So to me, I love the chorus. So I'm not even going to go on to the music yet. Love the chorus. The message there is,
absolutely.
I grew up in this village, this beautiful Norman Anglo-Saxon village, and now it's under threat from Taylor Wimpey, from Red Row Housing.
Yeah.
And I've got to be honest, I walk through Hertfordshire. I'm a countryside walker. That's my main hobby. And I walked through Connecticut the other day, and what used to be a garden centre has now got a perimeter. Taylor Wimpey are building houses, and I'm thinking, oh God, the barbarians are in the village. And I take a step back. Is there anything wrong with building houses? No, there's not. So I'm wrong to say that the barbarians are here and they're going to destroy the village. But they've also got that populist message in there, haven't they? Look at the state of the poor. The politicians are self-serving, they're corrupt. We've heard that a million times before, and with good reason, to be honest. When you look at some of the low-level corruption that's going on at the moment, certainly with the Conservative cabinet, and the number of resignations that we've had since Boris Johnson won the election in 2019. And then one more thing I will say as well, why that message is so poignant and they keep repeating it, and why it's so successful is, you need to, if you're going to involve politics in metal, it needs to be something people can understand. You are not going to be writing a song about the worrying trend in the spread between Britain's gilt-edged stock and the German bonds, or the worrying balance of payment deficit. You just can't write music about that because it's not fun, is it? So they understand that they've got the message in there. You clearly know what they're talking about. Now, musically, guitars too low in the mix. I do like the traditional heavy metal sound to them. Great tempo, fantastic drums. Dave, you might not like those drums, probably a bit too clicky for you. Love the footwork. I love the footwork. That's going to be very difficult to replicate live. You're up against it, because if you're in even a moderate sized venue like the Portland Arms in Cambridge that you mentioned, the reverberation in that room, you're just not going to get those double kick attacks, are you? Yeah, the other thing is as well, I wanted a bit more thrash in there. They look like a thrash band. So it's like, oh, here we go. We've got another Zentrix on our hands here. They're from my county, Lancashire, Zentrix. Andy, you know them. Arguably the greatest ever thrash band from Britain.
Lancashire, at least.
Well, Slugs are probably the best battle band from Lancashire. But yeah, they just needed to turn those guitars up, especially when you see the drummer wearing a Venom t-shirt and you've got a Metallica sleeveless vest on. I'm like, yeah, there's going to be some real riffing in this, like that London band Thrasher Wolf. Go and check them out, they're good. So yeah, didn't quite achieve that in the mix. I think these will be excellent live, even though I've just said they won't be able to replicate the drum sound. Real energy to it, great message, excellent vocals. He's got it just right, hasn't he? Is he called Rage? Did you say?
Yeah.
Rage Sadler. He's got it just right, because he's doing a tenor vocal, and he's not using the belting technique, but he's got enough strength in his head voice. Where this is where a lot of rock and metal bands fall down. It's really difficult to be singing at that range he's doing, and to have it and inject it with that oomph that's needed to match the guitars. So very surprised by that, Dave, because I thought, from what you said, I assumed they were a hard rock, new album type band, and to me that was thrash, and yeah, it was really melodic thrash metal, wasn't it? But yeah, fantastic how they've got something to say. It's a relief to actually occasionally hear a song where I'm paying attention to what they're saying at the expense of the music. So that shows that that's how successful they've been in communicating their message there. So well done to KAINE.
Okay, so it's just down to me to wrap it up. So I'm a Patreon of KAINE's, have been for years. They do it really, really well. They do free tier packages, which is a £1 a month, a £3 a month, and recently they've just launched a £10 a month, which is the £10 is a new one because it's to help them support them into some bigger projects this year. But what's great is even on the £3 a month package, you get, for your £3 a month, every year you get a new t-shirt from them. You get a back patch, pad, whatever it is, a denim patch, and you also get an EP. they record an EP and it's only for Patreons. So they've just finished recording it, and that'll be coming out soon. The new T-shirt will come out with the new design, and it's only available to the Patreons, which is very unheard of for the amount you're thinking there. So you're paying what 30 was that? So 36 quid, yeah. So for 36 quid you get an EP, a back patch, and a T-shirt every year, and just support. So I don't know how to understand how they're financially doing that. It makes no sense, but I was like, okay. And I was already a £3 Patreon when they announced that sort of thing, so I was like, okay, that's fine, I'm happy to do it. Very good communication. Glad they finally did a video. I had headphones on during this, so I got a much clearer idea of the mix. Best way I can say about the mix is you have a full fat version, you have the Diet Coke version, and then you have that Tab thing that came out from Coke years ago, which was that watered down thing. This is Tab. This is Tab. It was basically everything. It was the Tab mix. Everything sounds compressed. There was no room. There was no saturation of anything coming through. The drums, yes, you're right. I thought the drum playing was amazing. The sound was awful in my head. It's just too clicky. Everything. All you can hear is click pad, which I hate. I hate click pad's got a purpose, but when you put it too much in a mix, and they do that by the compression. Guitars were non-existent, and I was looking at the bass player, and I couldn't hear the bass at all. So I don't know what happened. Maybe this was because of the video that they've over-compressed it, and the album's going to sound slightly better. But I do know, obviously, they do all of they go to the studio for their recordings, and they go in and try to do the best they can. They try to get an album out every year and a half or so. So personally, I do think I would prefer if KAINE spent some more time in the studio and got a bigger, weightier sound on their albums, because it is one of the things I do kind of pick up from them. But they have always been referred to as almost a new wave of British, new wave of British heavy metal bands. In the earlier stages, there was a lot of comparisons to Iron Maiden for the dual guitar elements and stuff like that. And on the most recent album and the album before, KAINE has tried to go in a slightly different direction vocally. He's tried to get away from being this constant comparison, and it's just because that's what he wanted to do. And he got a lot of people giving him crap for that, which I actually appreciate the fact that he's done that. He's tried to make a real distinct difference of trying to do what's right with the new guys in the band. The new guys have been there for 5 years, and they've had a good impact on the writing process. They've brought in their own ideas, and I think that's worked really well as a band. In relation to the video, the step ladder, I think what the concept of that video is they're in an industrial room, which is why there's a broken TV and there's bits in the room, and then there's that green screen that they've used looking into the forests. So they wanted it to feel like in a wrecked room and a warehouse or whatever. So I think that's why the ladder was there, because I remember looking at the background shots or the behind the scenes footage for this and going, and I was going, what the hell are they doing? Why is there only one patch of green screen? That makes no sense. I couldn't work out what the hell was going on in the video when they were shooting it, and then saw some of the black and white elements. I'm like, so they've got a black screen with smoke going on. They're going to have some real issues there with by having the smoke. They're going to have real issues with it not looking like fabric, which is why they've gone black and white. And also this constant doing this movement, which I'm not a massive fan on, but he's managed to make that look really actually go really well. Plus obviously using the stock footage that they've used to get the different scenes from London and stuff like that has actually been done really well. So it's come out a lot better than I thought it was going to. When I saw that some of the behind the scenes footage, I was thinking this is not going to go well. So fair play to Gallowwood Media for that, because it came out really strong. So good for them. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the mix. That's the only thing. The song, I don't think the song is a good representation of KAINE as a whole, because usually there is some dual guitar solo in between Rage and Toby. There's some back and forths. It's a lot more thrashier, heavier. This felt a very subdued song, but maybe it was because they felt it had a clear song meaning. They wanted to do a video for it. Yeah. And I agree, it's probably about a minute and a half too long for me.
Can I come back on that? Because it's rare. This is one of the few times I've heard a metal song over the years where I'm not even bothered what it sounds like, because the message is so important. That just got my attention, and they delivered it so successfully. They're turning green into grey every day.
Yeah.
Excellent soundbite for a chorus. And it's like when you listen to the Smiths or Joy Division, because the message and the lyrics is so important, you don't really care about almost the backing music, like certainly with the Smiths. You know,
Yeah.
I've said this before. Can you imagine if you take Morris's voice out of that? It's just dreadful music. Joy Division, you put Closer on, you're not going to be thinking, oh, the bass, you know, the plectrum action is too heavy on the bass, the guitars are non-existent, I hate that drum machine, because you just know the mood and the message. Bit different here, obviously, because they're not Joy Division, are they? They're not writing dark music, but I just, because the chorus is so successful, what I'm saying is I'm willing to overlook everything that I would normally be analyzing in a song. It just took me by surprise. That
It's good.
Real triumph for communicating the message. Yeah, I'm so impressed by how they've done that I'm not even going to judge their music.
Well, there we go for some positive words there from Kirk. So that was KAINE and Green to Grey. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.